love the gunfire.
I know I do.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the greatest podcast in the history of podcasts in our price range. Welcome back to episode 373, Inside BJJ podcast. Andrew, it's great to see you, man.
You too, as always.
We're going to have the PGF three-time champion, season 6 competitor, Elijah Carlton.
Can't wait. Seasons 1, 3, and 5 winner. It's crazy.
This guy said he's got something special for Jeff Glover.
Is that what he said?
Special.
Nice.
This is what I heard. Allegedly, he said this. I don't know if it's true, but, you know, I got connections. I'm the one that called Gordon Ryan retiring. You're going to see that happen. I told you there was big news coming, and then PGF came.
That's true.
I told you that a certain somebody was going to drop out. Mm-hmm. They dropped out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, certain
so far,
special.
So good.
Anyway, here we go. Oh, I said he has something special for Jeff Glover, huh? Did I say that? No, he's got it special for AJ Agazarm. AJ's the guy.
We're going to go ahead and reset.
Yeah, let's go ahead and redo that. No, I was thinking Jeff,
knuckle up again.
Jeff Glover's out.
Yeah.
He's out.
You had just told me this before we started.
Yeah, I had Jeff Glover kind of at the top of my mind. Apparently, and I spoke with some higher ups that are involved in this, and apparently all I could get was Jeff Glover couldn't make it. So that's that on that. But check this out. He's being replaced with Higan Machado.
That's insane.
Which is pretty freaking cool. So Jeff can't be there. Higan's in. Glover's out. So still stoked for the season 6. I think it's going to be great.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Elijah Carlton said he's got something special for AJ Agazarm. AJ pissed a lot of people off last week.
Yeah. Read the comments. Yeah.
Apparently, he's really good at what he does.
He's good at the persona.
He might be the best, right? He might be better than anybody else that we know at that.
Still looking forward to the outing of the rivalry too. Whenever that makes itself apparent.
Yeah, I wonder who that person is that he's talking about.
I keep looking at BMAX Instagram and the PGF Instagram, seeing they've been releasing fighters every day, like the additions, as you know.
Yeah.
And it's been nuts so far. And I'm trying to figure out, like, do I know enough of the inside to know where the drama would be?
Right.
And I don't think the person that he might have beef with has been announced yet, but then again, I don't know.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, because there's a few names that are being kicked around. A couple really big names that could really push this to the next level. There's a few names being kicked around that could be one of those guys. I guess it could be. It could be.
Again, I don't know.
But it's hard to say with AJ because AJ's the kind of guy that'll be like, you stepped on my foot at the drugstore when I was 11. And I remembered, I wrote your name down on my list of people I got to square up against, settle up with later on in life.
Wrote a few thoughtful limericks about it too.
Yeah, right. More than one, I was glad to have AJ on.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people don't like him, but, you need guys like AJ. You need him around. PGF 6, yeah, man. So a lot of things coming for PGF 6, dude.
Yeah, just real quick. The last people that have been announced since our last podcast were right after we recorded. It was Kiwan Gracie.
Yeah, that's big news.
David Evers, who was young enough that I thought maybe might be him, but I don't know enough about him. Hinato Canuto.
Hinato Canuto is a big get, dude.
Yep.
Like Hinato Canuto. This is the guy that can backflip past your guard. Like no hands.
Oh, okay.
This guy. This is who we're talking about.
I'd be upset about that.
It's going to be some real cool shit. Yeah.
And then as of 11 hours ago, they posted Andy Varela or Varela?
Varela. Andy Varela.
Andy Varela.
Yeah. From 10P Las Vegas.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm working on getting Andy on.
That'd be great.
Yeah, getting him on the podcast. I reached out to Coach Casey earlier today. Coach Casey Halstead out there at 10P Las
Legend.
Vegas. Legendary. One
wait.
of my mentors, I would say, for real. Like, he's been pretty helpful to me.
Can't wait to meet him.
Yeah, he's a good dude. He's been really helpful just like on the business side of owning a gym, and very, very honest, and I appreciate that. So pretty stoked for Andy. I know Andy's one of his main guys. So that'll be pretty cool to see him out there. And Andy's doing good, man. He's gone pretty far, you know, with his ventures into ADCC. He's done all kinds of formats. He's constantly out there getting after it, and he's getting better. So it's pretty cool to watch him. I'm really interested to see how he does in this format.
For sure.
I mean, some of these teams, 5 of these guys are going to be on one team. That's crazy.
It's metal.
That's an amazing. Yeah, it's metal. It's the only way to describe it. It's metal.
I said mental, but it's both.
Oh, I thought not both. Yeah, it's mental metal. Both. Yeah. So anyway, I'm excited about that. Elijah's going to call in a minute here, but until he does, UFC 298,
I believe so,
happened over the weekend.
Yes, it did. I watched it.
I slept through it. Not because I'm criticizing the product, because I guess apparently I was tired. And I did that thing where I watched the first fight of the card, and then I dozed off during the second, but I kept waking up. And so I thought, oh, I know what I got to do. I need to put money on these fights. So I opened up DraftKings.
Get some skin in there.
Yeah, got to put some skin in the game. Got to grease the wheel here. Got to get a little squirt, get a little juice going, right? Wet my beak a little bit. Get the batteries popping. Yeah, it didn't work.
You good night.
Oh, I got tucked, man. I literally got tucked.
Yourself?
I got tucked, dude. I got tucked.
Callback action.
Yeah, went 9-eye. Woke up again somewhere during the co-main event.
Whitaker.
Was that the co-main?
Whitaker and Costa.
Yeah, Whitaker and Costa.
That was a great fight.
Yeah, that was a good fight. Watched,
really good fight. Pretty
much was awake through that fight, and then told myself I'm gonna get a little shut eye right after the winner was announced in the Whitaker fight.
Whitaker by unanimous, I believe.
Yeah, he looked good.
He did, well, they both did. Paulo's so tough.
Let's just say, Henry Cejudo's fight was a great fight. Good fight. You know, he lost. Nothing to be ashamed about. Lost to a better fighter. But I will say this: post USADA, these guys look better. Like their physiques, they all like Whitaker looked better. Yes, Cejudo looked better. I wonder why they look better. What could possibly be with the main drug testing organization leaving? The really strict one is no longer here to do all the big bad testing.
I don't like what you're implying.
Now we got another group, and hey, wink, wink, they're going to make sure that they cross all the T's and dot all the I's. Very next show, these guys are looking jacked. Like they're looking good.
Again, I don't know what you're trying to call attention to, but I'm happy about it because I believe in trend.
I literally, that influenced my betting decisions.
Yeah.
Like we're talking, I almost bet on Costa because I'm like, we're talking juice Costa.
I thought Costa was going to win.
Costa, yeah, we're talking Bomba Costa. But then I realized, like, goddamn, we also are talking juiced up Whitaker. Like all these guys, let them juice, let my people juice.
Yeah.
So it was good, man.
Hashtag.
Yeah, I fell asleep for the whole Volkanovski fight.
Shouldn't have. It was a good
Woke
one.
up at the end.
Right hook from nowhere.
Super freaking mad that I slept through the old card. Feeling like a giant, giant old piece of shit, dude. You know,
that's you, dude.
That was me. Asleep before midnight. Fell asleep on all the fights.
Fucking pathetic.
Didn't have anything to drink. Didn't eat any pizza. Pathetic. Literally, man. Just crawled up like a fucking PMS and lady on the couch. My tummy hurts and went to sleep, man. So. Hey, it looks like we got Elijah. I'm going to jump him in here.
Yes, sir.
We'd like to
welcome.
What's
up, guys?
The podcast. Elijah. What's going on, man?
Not much, man. Just sitting in my living room.
The grappling jabroni. How'd you get that nickname? I like jabroni. That's a great old world name.
I've actually got my El Jabron t-shirt on right now.
Oh shit, that's great.
Always be Brandon.
Honestly, me and a buddy of mine were just kind of using the word in replacement of like degenerate.
Oh, I got
and we were just calling each other jabronis, and it just kind of one day, I think my buddy actually changed his Instagram to Jabroni Poppy, and I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna change mine to Jabroni Grappler, and it just kind of hit.
Yeah, no, that's a great nickname. Elijah Carlton, 3-time PGF winner, PGF season 6, right around the corner. You were one of the first names announced. Got to be stoked to be doing this. Are you feeling any extra pressure, seeing that the bar has been raised, or obviously they're trying to raise it? I mean, they're really trying to raise it. Any extra pressure going into this one versus the PGF seasons in the past?
I think there was definitely pressure last season to perform. You know, like I was one of the best grapplers there on paper. You know, but this season definitely not. You know, there's definitely not going to be the best grappler on paper. So I think I'm going to shine a little bit better just because that pressure won't be on me. You know. I'm just going to go out there and do my thing. And it's like, I'm going there and I'm getting paid either way. The probability of me being on the winning team and getting 20 grand out of that is like high. Just the opportunities that are going to come out of it, just like sponsors and eyes and like, just footage and media and stuff for social media. Everything I'm going to get out of it is going to be awesome. But again, like the chances of me being on the winning team are high. Like I've been the highest scorer every season I've done, you know, so that added on to my team. We're almost guaranteed to win money, you know, without winning the finale. That's another 20 grand.
Yeah, no kidding, right? I mean, in the past, grapplers, like, you know, they'd have these guys show up at events. There'd be no guarantee that you'd even get paid. Sometimes you wouldn't get paid at all, which is really, you'd win and you still wouldn't get paid, which is like majorly fucked up, right? But you know, he's paying guys just to show up now. But I wanted to, which I think is good. I think that shows some really goodwill and tells people like, hey man, like we're really trying to do this the right way. But how do you feel about a combine? How does that change it at all? Does that make you feel nervous?
BMAX always like put some
spin on
some emphasis on it and like wanted to do it. And honestly, just like, I don't think it's done well every season. Like, just my personal opinion. I think it's kind of stupid, but
what would you change about it? Like,
I just wouldn't do it. I just don't think there's any need for it. Like, I don't think anything they did like tells who the better grappler is or show stats on people. That's why we watch film. You know, it's not like we're high school athletes that people are coming and scouting. You know.
Yeah, well, I think the idea would be to get it in a way where you could actually have coaches watch and make picks, especially if the season was much longer than 1 week. Like
I'm not ever picking the dude who's like outperforming people in a combine. I'm picking the autistic kid in the corner that isn't talking to anybody and he's paying attention to everything. You know what I mean?
Sure. Well, I mean, yeah, I think we're there right now. But I could see a time in jiu-jitsu where, or grappling, where you have an actual like serious combine. I think what the combine represents for PGF is the kickoff. It's like, hey, here's all the guys, here's all the coaches. Let's give everyone a little peek at what these guys can do. Yeah, we know, but like, let's show you where everyone's at right now. Now we're gonna
for sure. I like the idea of it.
Yeah,
I just don't think it plays an actual role in who people are gonna pick. But yeah, let's do it. It's fun. We've done it every season. I'm about it.
What if you get hurt during the combine? That's gotta piss you off.
I don't think they've really done anything that you could get hurt on. Maybe just like, I guess like long jumping, just like on the mats when we've done it. Like, I don't know. But that would suck. That would suck to get hurt.
Yeah, that wouldn't be good. I'm interested in seeing it. I think it's an interesting concept. I like the draft. I think the draft idea is like a great idea that the guys come up and the coaches are going to bid on everybody. I think that's a pretty interesting way to do it. But do you feel like shit if you get picked last? Like, do you feel like
absolutely, you definitely do. I've just seen it over the seasons, but this season they're doing something a little different. They're giving the coaches what they call PGF bucks. Like, so it's not real money. Everybody's just going to get $1,000.
Fucking Brandon.
Everybody gets $1,000 flat standard. You can't get any more than that. And I don't know how the draft is working. Like, order, like, I don't know, but I do know that I think they're all going to get like $10,000 or $20,000 PGF dollars.
Yeah.
And then they get to bid with that, like in the auction.
I think it's $10,000. It's the PGF coin. It's a new
PGF coin.
currency that comes with it. No, I'm just kidding. But
Called
they should
BMAC
fucking
bucks.
do that. Yeah. They should do it. I think it's 10,000.
But I don't like that, honestly. I'm a little against that one. I think we should like bid some real money. Like everybody they get an allowance, and we're bidding real money. Like last year, I got last season I got $1,300. You know, everybody's gonna get $1,000 this month.
Right. But what if okay, we're bidding real money. You give me I'm one of the coaches. I got 10 G's and my last pick gets $13 fucking because I didn't manage my budget very well. Does that
sucks
feel
to
worse
be sucks to be an alternate, you know?
But does that feel worse than getting picked last? Just like, hey man, I got $11. You want to grapple for me this week?
Who cares?
By the way, I need a ride home.
I need a ride home, man.
Who cares? That guy's definitely a dunkable, and
He's a dunk.
He's a dunkable. I mean, it's like that's what this game is based on. It's like realistically, this game is me, and it's probably like 8 to 10 good grapplers that are actually competing against each other to see who can score the most points on the people who can get scored on. Most of like the top players, like 8 to 10 people, you know, they're gonna draw out with each other or try and stall out with each other. You'll see some subs here and there in those like within those matches, but really we're looking at who can score the most points on these people who don't want to get like who are dunkable, you know, who are able to get points scored on.
So like there's some victims out there, and you guys
half of the roster is going to be victims every season. That's what it's about. It's like if everybody was super good and like on the same level, like you're just going to have a bunch of draws and no subs. You know,
well, man,
it's just 6-minute matches. You got to go out there and fucking sub and put points on the board. That's the only way to win this shit. Like, I don't care how much better you might actually be than me. If you don't have any balls and you put no risk out there and you just draw out every fucking match,
you're not going to get
it. And there's going to be people out here that are specifically out here trying to like not get sub. Like that's their job in the season is to get sub, but they're trying not to get sub. And if you're not putting risk out there, like you're not going to sub these people. You're just going to draw out with them because these people really don't want you to sub them.
Well, you know, Jiu-Jitsu's got
6
that
minutes.
weird. Yeah, Jiu-Jitsu's got that weird pride thing that's like, well, you might like have controlled me and beat me, but if you don't sub me, then you didn't really beat me.
For sure.
You know, under the made up rules.
That's just the rule set. We're going to have like lower belts. We're going to have blue and purple belts every season. You know, it's just built like that. He's going to have qualifiers, and he's invited a good bit of people at this point, have a few qualifier spots, and then the rest are going to be people that BMAC, I think, just selects and is like, hey, this is a blue belt, this is a purple belt that looked good, that was a fun character or something, and they go on the show and they get dunked on. And they might get a win over somebody, you know, which is really interesting. Like the game is really complex, honestly. You got to know, you got to have balls, and you got to know when to pull the trigger and when to hold out, you know? You really do.
I think there's something to it, and I think the guys that come and go like, I'm not going to go for it. I'm not going to take it. Like there's some guys that are not dunkable, but they're also not going to take risks.
There's already plenty of those that have been announced for the season. I'm not going to mention any specific names, but they're going to be surprised right off the bat. After night 1, night 2, they've only got 1 sub or something like that. And I've got 3 or 4 subs on the board, you know?
I think it will become eye-opening where they realize like, I'm not going to make any money.
Yeah.
Like I come out here with all this cool shit, and this jabroni over here is collecting all the fucking paychecks. You know what I mean? And I'm like,
I'm going to collect the paycheck for the team. Everybody on my team is going to fucking love me. I'll tell you that. Because that's how it is. The winning team gets $100,000, and that's split between 5 people. So we're each going to get 20 grand. And I heard that it might actually be like split up by the coach, like how the coach like deems how valuable that person was for the team.
Is there a minimum though? Like everyone, you got to give everyone at least.
I have no clue. That's just like something that I had heard.
Yeah,
that was going to happen. But I don't care. You know, I'll split with everyone. But they're going to love me on my team. You know, I'm going to be putting up points.
How hard is it to put up points in a PGF? Like you're coming in as one of the guys with maybe the most experience doing this.
Well, definitely the absolute most experience. I've got 60 plus matches in the PGF. Most of all of those subs.
Do you feel any?
I've got 70 plus matches in the PGF. I think 58 subs or something like that. I don't know.
Do you feel extra pressure?
Not at all.
No.
Definitely not
You don't
coming
give-
into this season.
You don't give a fuck, huh? You're like, I do.
I
not.
really don't. I just like that's always why I've had a
love
little
this
bit of an
guy.
edge, just because I don't.
That's great. I mean, dude, I think that you want to win. You're not saying
For
you
sure.
don't want to win, but you're not too worried that now it's in Vegas and now there's a bunch
Dude,
of
I would much rather go out there and get subbed by somebody than fucking draw. I don't care. I don't
Yeah.
care to fucking lose. I don't care to get subbed.
yeah. Well,
And honestly, I think there should be there's a lot of money getting dumped into this, and I think we're gonna head towards something where there's gonna be a lot of drama this season. There's gonna be a lot of hurt feelings of people because there's gonna be people winning a lot of some a substantial amount of money that
Yeah.
didn't do anything at all. That
Yeah,
just because they were on the winning
yes.
team, and it's like that's cool. It's gonna make this interesting, but I think this is gonna head towards the direction of where everybody's getting paid more money realistically. It's like
Yeah.
you could pay the top 10 seeds $10,000 a piece. That's your $100,000. Or you could pay them $5,000 a piece. And then the next 5 people, they get $1,000 a piece or something like that. There's a lot of ways that this money could be split better, and then offer to make the matches more exciting. I think we should offer both people in the match submission bonus even if you're the one who gets subbed. It's like,
Oh, I see.
throw $500 on every submission you for each match that has a submission to each person. More incentive for people to actually go out there and put a little risk out there and actually grapple, instead of playing a bullshit game.
I agree with you, but in my experience, you have to put a significant amount of money up to incentivize people to get submissions, because
look at how much money we've spent. That there's already getting paid out for the season. It's like $100. It's over $120,000.
It's amazing.
There's a way we could spread that out and offer a $500 bonus for.
I don't think 500 is enough, because
it absolutely is. What are you talking about? $500?
I don't know, man. Well, I for you, yes, I get it, and I don't mean that for you, but what I mean is there's a lot of dudes, they go to the EBI stage knowing you will make zero money if you don't get a submission, and they will win all the matches by decision, and they don't fucking care. It's like, what? They don't care. That's the part that I'm trying to figure out.
Well, here's the thing. I think it's the thing about getting paid whether you win or not. If there's incentive there to actually grapple, there might I'm going to get paid whether I get subbed or not.
I think I would like to see it where the guys that make the individual tournament have a chance to win quite a bit more money. The team tournament's important, but if you make that individual tournament, that prize is 100 G's to the winner. That would be dope.
Yeah, that would be dope for sure.
Because then you'd see guys on the team tournament side of it. You're trying to kick ass because you're wanting to get seated in that top 8, I guess, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, I think it's great what Brandon's doing. I think it's great that they moved to Vegas. I think submission.
Here's the thing: it's this game that they can just kind of change and do what they want with. It's evolving.
Yeah, and it's important.
There's a lot of room to grow, but we've got something pretty special built at the moment.
I think so, and I think it's Brandon's done it in his team of folks, right? Obviously, it's multiple people, but he's kind of done it in a very sustainable, organic way. It's not he's built it over time and it's evolved, and it's
we have a solid following. Name another tournament where you have a solid fan group of just that tournament and the characters on it. I don't think there is one.
Not one that's moving rapidly through jiu-jitsu right now.
Yeah, we're moving rapidly through jiu-jitsu for sure. It's pretty insane.
It's pretty cool to see. Look, dude, a lot of dudes have been trying to do submission grappling and jiu-jitsu super fights and make a living off of being a competitor, and it historically has been a terrible career decision. It hardly works out, right?
Yeah, for sure.
I think we're getting to a point where we can see people pull this off it more regular than just the top 5 guys.
No, we're definitely there, man. I think this is, and I think PGF is about to blow up after this season, and it's going to offer just much bigger sponsors and a lot more money dumping into the sport, and we're going to see people getting paid well.
How do you survive right now? Are you full-time jiu-jitsu?
Pretty much. I drive Uber and I teach jiu-jitsu.
Yeah. So you still work within the realm of jiu-jitsu, right? Like, I mean, teaching's kind of training, but it's kind of like the best kind of job you could have if you have to have a job. You could
For sure. I live in Cartersville, Georgia, and I live like 10 minutes down the road from the gym that I teach at. And then I live about 25 minutes from Sean's gym, 10th Planet Atlanta.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
And so I'm in between there, teaching and training, and then I drive Uber on the side.
Oh, that's that. Yeah, I mean that's a great way to do it. But honestly, I would love it if you didn't have to drive Uber. I want you.
Trust me, man. I don't want to drive Uber either. Look at my friends. My friends are drilling jiu-jitsu right now.
Hey, y'all.
I think that the people that are fucking getting out there and winning these big tournaments, we got to get the sport to a place where they could get paid and survive off of it.
For sure. The money's there. It's like the money's out there for it to happen. We just need like a certain way to get it to them. You know, we need, I don't know. It's getting there though.
Well, I think the money is coming from MMA. And I think organizations like the UFC realize that in order for the UFC to sustain itself, it needs talent. And it's like, where is it going to find talent? Well, it's going to find it in boxing. It's going to find it in wrestling. It's going to find it in jiu-jitsu. It's going to find it in combat. So I think we're going to come eventually. There will be a day when somebody from Power Slap fights on a UFC card. That's what I really think. I think that's what they want to do. They want to funnel everything in to the promotion. And so in order to do that, like if you want to be the NFL, you got to have a very big infrastructure to build NFL caliber athletes that could play your sport.
Hands in a lot of pies.
Yeah. And so, I feel like the UFC specifically is starting to dump a lot of money in and it's just starting to flow. And it might not all come directly from the UFC, but a lot of it eventually, like if you trace it back, is coming from that channel, which is fucking dope. It's what we need. And jiu-jitsu's ready for it. It's been self-supporting for a long time now. Every clothing, jiu-jitsu clothing, gear, media, bullshit, everything, it's all self-created. Nobody came from the outside and was like, man, we're going to pump money into this industry and build it up. It's like, no, we're going to build ourselves up because nobody gives a fuck about what we're doing, Harley. For the longest time. It's like a bunch of weirdos.
And now people are really liking it, man.
Fuck yeah.
I've done like substantially well over the last year, just like residuals from the PGF, like getting seminars. Like me and my friends, my roommates here, we went on like a month-long little road trip over the summer, and I taught a bunch of seminars. But within the last year, I've probably taught 25 seminars.
That's awesome.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah,
just all like exposure, mostly from the PGF and grappling in general. Has allowed me to do that.
Samir Chantre out on the West Coast, and I've been chatting with him about getting him on. He's doing this thing where I guess, and I haven't talked to him directly, so I'm speculating a little, but he basically has an agency where he's representing jiu-jitsu athletes in a way that like you would represent a sports athlete to get contracts and make money and sign endorsement deals. And it sounds like what? But if you think about it, like that's where we're going. That's the direction we're headed in. You got a guy like Elijah who books 25 seminars off of exposure from PGF, right? It's like, what if some dude comes around and goes, look, I could get you 100 seminars.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like we can get you an endorsement deal. We can get you lined up with this, with that, and the other. That's real shit. Like that's real sustaining long-term type of
for sure. Deal. I've already seen like benefits from like getting the sponsors and stuff through PGF. Like Epic Roll has me now, and like those guys are awesome. I don't know if you know the Epic Roll guys, but those guys are super awesome. They've treated me really well, and just like the connections with those guys, they got a lot of really good connections, and it's been really well for me. And gonna continue to work with them for as long as I can.
So what's the Elijah Carlton plan, man? You're gonna head out to Vegas the week of. You go out early. You go out. It's not like you really need to acclimate to the desert, right? I mean, it's sea level. It's not way up there.
No, yeah, I'm just I'll be out there a little bit early because I think High Rollers has been talking to me. They want me to do their 420 show on the 19th out there, and then the 21st is PGF. So I'm going to go do the High Roller show. I think
you're not going to pass the rigid drug testing if you do High Rollers 2 days before. How are you gonna
The
pass
rigid drug testing?
The
Is there drug
rigid-
testing?
cannabis drug testing? You would have like no jujitsu guys if you test.
Yeah,
especially where it's legal in Vegas.
yeah. Yeah, so I'm gonna go do that and then chill for a couple days and then start on the PGF. I'm gonna be right on point with my weight. I was pretty small for last season. Like a lot of the guys cut a lot of weight to make 185, and I like ate a bunch of shitty food the night before and
What do
came
you
and
walk
walked in.
around at?
Right now, I'm probably like 178.
Oh yeah, you're
I'm
already.
gonna get a little bit bigger, put on a
Yeah.
little bit of weight, and then make a cut. But yeah, I've lost a good bit of weight over the last few months.
Is that just from training, or what were you've been competing down?
That's just coming off testosterone.
Like my tummy hurts like Gordon.
No, yeah, I'd been on it for a minute, so I'm off of it.
Yeah,
I walk around like when I'm on it, not really even lifting anything, like 185. When I'm off of it, when I'm off of it, like I'm like 175.
Why would you ever want to come off of testosterone? That's the question.
I don't know. I just been on it for a minute, and I was getting tired of poking myself, and my hormones were getting fucked up. I was doing all the right things that I needed to do, like not have acne and
Yeah,
other things, but it just wasn't working. So I was like, "Fuck this! I'm gonna get off it for a while. I'm sure I'll get back on it eventually
raging. Some video
when I'm
comes out of-
35 or something. I might do a few cycles or something, but I'm completely open about it.
He's like,
I don't
I'm not
really
on
care.
Anadrol 50 anymore, and
I've never done anything other than
yeah,
I've done some testosterone. I've done many cycles of testosterone,
yeah.
and I did Anavar one time. But other than that, I've never done anything.
Anavar is like a very light steroid.
They're
right?
doing another PGF season right after. They're going to do 155. So I'm going to stay light so I can cut and make the 155.
Really?
And then after that, I'm going to get my hands on some like real HGH and like just go up permanently.
HGH, and I think the real game changer, if you can get your hands on it and not hurt yourself in the process, is the fucking what's that shit they were EPO, right? You get some EPO and start blood doping and your blood, like that seems to be a cardio game changer. It's just it could kill you.
I could use that. My cardio's ass.
It's like all that other shit. They're like, steroids will kill you. All the guys that are saying it are yoked and making a bunch of money. Don't take steroids, kids. It's bad. It's like, no, I'm going to take steroids.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm thinking about asking for Tren for my migraine.
Yeah. Right. EPO, though, I think is like for real. You know, you had those cyclists getting up in the middle of the night and riding their stationary bicycle because they needed to burn off excess oxygen in their blood.
Yeah.
It could really fuck you up. Right, but it can really make you.
I don't ever plan on doing anything too hard. I'll run testosterone once I need it, like for good.
Yeah,
and then I mean, like I said, I'll probably run like a cycle HGH and put some forever weight on me. Stay heavy.
Go ahead.
Get that Joe Rogan gut.
There you go. I think what the sport needs is they need a healthy dose of like, you know, man behind the curtain kind of thing, like where we go like, yeah, the sport's clean, we're testing, but you know, it's just all tokenized, and behind the scenes you're just kind of letting guys do what they're gonna do, and if someone's like out of control, maybe you step in, but other than that, it's like, what are we doing? Because guys are still taking shit all the time anyway, even with all the testing.
Yeah, for sure. I think they should just test testosterone levels. You know, it should be like an average. Like you shouldn't be able to boost yours like past fucking like 13 or 1400 or something.
Sure, right.
You know, like up in those numbers shouldn't be allowed.
Yeah, I agree.
Because everybody's different. You know, it's like some people could just naturally have lower testosterone, and some people naturally fucking just
have high
through
testosterone.
The roof.
Yeah. So what are you gonna punish those guys?
Yeah, but nobody's sitting at 60.
I just don't think you should punish people for doing testosterone. But if you're doing like, I don't know. I don't really care, honestly. Do whatever you want.
Yeah.
I don't think it matters.
It was just like,
I think you take what you want.
Take anything though?
Yeah, why not?
Like cocaine in between rounds?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
If that's what you want to do it.
Why not?
It's the all drug league. I mean, people would for sure watch it.
For sure.
If they're like, look, John Jones is snorting lines off of a plate.
How about we start a high rollers, but with cocaine?
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That would last until somebody died, right?
Well, especially like with UFC, it'd be like, okay, this guy is let's say a Brazilian BJJ black belt of 18 years. This guy's a very well-known kickboxer, but this dude loves meth and this dude loves cocaine. Let's see which one's better.
What if there was a guy who kind of sucks sober, but like drugged up, he was really fucking good?
That might be me. That might be me.
Yeah, that would be great to watch. What are you gonna do with the money, dude?
I'm gonna buy a Tesla.
You're gonna buy? Don't get a Tesla. Come on. You know how many hookers you could get with 20 grand?
You know how many hookers I could fit in my Tesla?
At least 3.
At least 3. You know.
And you don't have to drive; it's hands free.
Yeah.
Just cruising around.
Oh
No, I think it's just the better long term investment for me since I do drive Uber. It would save me a lot of money.
Oh, there you go. I think it's smart right there.
Yeah, for sure.
that Plaid Plus is goddamn fast too.
Hopefully I come out with a bunch of money this season, and then fucking there's 10 times the amount of money being offered fucking next season. You know,
right. No, I feel you, man. I'm stoked for you guys. I've been interviewing dudes on this podcast since 2012 talking about submission events. This new thing's up and this new thing's up, and I've seen so much shit come and go, but it's really cool to see the remaining ones like really like EBI is pretty strong, even though Eddie hasn't been doing the EBI format as much, kind of morphed into combat jiu-jitsu. Fights and Wins still fucking chugging out there. You know, we've seen a strong rise of ADCC, although ADCC was always a pretty was always held in high regard by the no-gi community, but it's very, very like extravagant now compared to what
it's definitely like the most prestigious for sure. But realistically, it's boring. You know, you see the highlights of the submissions, but most of the fucking matches in all ADCC format are boring as hell, and it's just people collar tying the shit out of each other for the entire fucking match. You know.
Yeah, there is an element of that, especially with the penalization of guard pulling. So you'll tend to see guys that just like fucking borderline clubbing each other in the head the entire time, right?
Yeah, it's the most boring shit ever.
We saw that in our last Fight to Win a couple times too.
Yeah,
and that's the worst thing about ADCC is that like in every single match until the finals, you can pull guard without getting that penalty, but then in the finals, you get that penalty. I had my finals match in the Denver Open with Taza, and I got penalized for pulling off of a takedown. I don't know. It was really weird. But it's like it just doesn't make sense that I can use the same strategy to get to the finals, and then in the finals I can't use that strategy anymore without getting a negative.
It seems like in the finals they would relax the rules instead of tightening the rules. Usually the finals is where you're like, hey, let's let these guys play. Like, let's get the refs out of the game. Let's let these guys settle who's the best. No. Let's change the rule set at the end. Let's
change the rule set to favor the better wrestler and not like the better grappler.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense.
I think that right now, no-gi grappling has a pretty big boner for wrestling. You know,
it does, and it'll fade. It's not going to stay forever.
Fade. It's not going to stay forever. Eventually, it's going to recalibrate. Wrestling, for sure, jiu-jitsu has short-changed wrestling for a long time. In the sense that it's like, hey, you can just sit on your butt. There's no penalty. Getting back to the penalty. There's no, like, you can't lose a match. You can win that way. And it's a valid strategy, like in a grappling match, to sit down. For certain it is. But that doesn't mean you shouldn't learn how to grapple from your feet.
I think it's been huge in the sport over the last 4 years, you know, that like I think everybody as a whole has evolved in the sport in that aspect of grappling because of like this wave of wrestling through ADCC and it getting popular, you know, everybody's gotten better off of it, you know, but it'll fade. Like, I don't think it's going to stay as popular as it is.
I think the like outright emphasis on wrestling will start to remold back into like, it's jiu-jitsu. It's wrestling for jiu-jitsu. Because ultimately we're doing jiu-jitsu. Like, we're not doing just wrestling. We're not for the sake of wrestling. There's a lot of wrestling that, just like there's a lot of judo that can do you well in judo, but in a jiu-jitsu match where somebody could choke you from the back, it's not that great. And it's not a knock. It's the rule set literally changes like what techniques have the most value.
Yeah, for sure.
You never really see sacrifice throws from judo or sambo in jiu-jitsu.
In jiu-jitsu,
getting choked.
Right. Not much. Yeah, I agree. Dude, we do this thing on the show where we talk mad shit about the Reddit jiu-jitsu message boards. Do you want to like hang on and do that with us? Do you have like 10 more minutes, man?
Yeah, that's fine.
All right on. We'll bring these up. Usually what we do is we'll bring them up and I'll just kind of like read through them and we just talk shit about these people. Like
I'm great at that.
Yeah. So let's do it, man. We call it banging the Reddit boards. Let's go, baby.
You know, I've never been a Reddit person. I don't ever get on it. I don't even I have the app and I've tried to get on it one time, but I just don't understand it. I'm just
you know why you don't get on it? Because you're not a fucking dork.
It's a shit
That's
show.
why you don't get on it. Okay.
This is one of mine that I found, and the reason behind it is that so I'll explain this for you, Elijah. You get on, especially the / Jiu-Jitsu or / BJJ, you'll get a lot of lower belts that will say something so up and nice about black belts in general because they want to basically point farm this post. They just want to suck up enough. They get a bunch
want to suck dick,
yeah, basically.
They're digital black belt dick riders.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So rolled with a black belt today. Today I rolled with a black belt for the first time, and shit, the gap between skills are insane. He was letting me work a little bit, but I really don't know what to do. So he started tapping me every 20 seconds like it was nothing. LOL. Such a humbling experience. I just want to keep on going.
Boo! What a dumb thread. Who cares?
I do that. I do that shit every time to new people. I tap them as many times as I possibly fucking can.
But do you ever like? I have done that to new guys, like tap 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 tap. But then sometimes I get almost tired of doing it. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna let this guy like do something to me. You know?
I mean, yeah, I'll let people get on top of me and do whatever, and then I'll fuck them up.
Yeah,
I'll just kind of switch between. Do I want to sub you like a billion times, or I want to mount you and make your life miserable with my chest on your nose?
I try that, but like I'm not that good. Like I'm like a mediocre black belt. So it's like every once in a while you give somebody position and you're like, oh shit, this guy's good. You're like, fuck.
How long have you been training?
18 years, 19 years.
Nice. Yeah, I'm probably about 16.
Yeah. I mean, I really love it. When I started, I didn't think I was just like, I'm gonna go once a week. You know, I was just like a regular dude. I'm just going to train once a week. And then I did that for like a year, a solid year, just Thursday nights, like going to jiu-jitsu. And then, I don't know, man, that second year I got hooked on it. I just started going more. And then, I don't know, man, it just took my whole life over.
From a lower belt perspective, I would just like to say most of these comments are shit that I've thought about. The dude's post is stuff that I've thought about. I'll come home being like, wow, man, that is a humbling experience. You know, I got 100 pounds on this guy. He fucked me up 20 times in 10 seconds, a minute, whatever. But I don't go on Reddit looking to dick suck about it.
I know. It's so
that's
corny.
why I'm bringing it to your attention.
Yeah. So cheese.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
What are the commenters say? What were some of the replies?
I got them right here. Rolling with very polite black belts is always hilarious. Doing my thing. Oh, he's flipped me over like a baby, and now he's changing my diaper. Tap. Doing my thing. Oh, I must have misbehaved because now he's flipped me over and spanked my bottom. That's a little weird.
Yeah,
that's a weird way to write that.
It sounds like exactly what I do to people.
Oh, you've been spanking bottoms?
I literally think these people were talking about me, like that original post.
Listen, this is an intervention. We don't want to tell you anything about this man.
I don't want to say who he is on Reddit, but it's EC. He keeps spanking me.
Oh man!
If it's any consolation, every now and then we black belts get to roll with someone who makes us feel the same way. It levels all the way down. I don't believe that for a goddamn second.
I mean, that's true. There's some dudes that are fucking good. Look, man, I'm not a professional grappler, right? Like I've been around it for a long time. I've trained for a long time. Got a lot of students. Taught a lot of people how to grapple. But there's fucking guys that are good, dude. There's guys that are real good, and they'll roll through and like just whoop your ass. And you're like, holy fuck. And then you forget, like, yeah, there's guys that are really good, man. They're really good.
Well, there's real dudes out there.
Well, you know what it is it's constantly changing. What happens is the guys that were really good 20 years ago, they're like 50 years old now. And I know jiu-jitsu's got the belts, and this guy, oh man, he's so good. He's 55, my master. He can beat everybody. If your 55-year-old fucking black belt master could beat everybody, he would be winning ADCC. He would be winning worlds. He'd be out there fucking doing it. If he could tap all the best guys in the world, he'd be out there doing it. Why else wouldn't you? Why would you be at home?
Yeah,
fucking driving a 1999 Toyota pickup. Like you would be out there like, suck my dick. I'm 50 and I whooped all your asses. That's what you'd be doing.
Yeah, tapping a white belt. Tapping a white belt.
The cultural aspect of like
It's
once you
gross.
get old enough that you just like don't roll with students and you don't compete and like I don't know, like that, like just that culture of not rolling with anybody because you're better than them instead of just accepting the fact that you've gotten old and you're not fucking good anymore, you know?
You're not gonna beat every. You got.
Like,
If you're gonna stay on.
everybody has their prime. So you
Dude,
don't see it in any sport. You don't see
no,
60-year-old people
no,
winning in any sport, you know?
no, motherfucker. And it doesn't mean you
It
suck.
happens to everybody.
You're
It's not
fucking old, you
because you're
idiot.
some Brazilian jiu-jitsu fucking master.
Like you got some
You know?
special move.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I'm 3 years in. I train almost every day, and I feel like that already. So
you already feel like you peaked.
I'm done.
You're already on your way down. What's the next one we got?
I'm gonna do one of yours here.
All right, let's go.
What's the worst martial art for a beginner?
Oh yeah, let's see. I think there's some good places we could go with this.
Okay.
Kind of curious from my last post to see the inverse from his last post. This is what's wrong with Reddit. These people who posts on here? Like who purposely goes on here?
And it's generally the same 5 accounts.
I only have troll accounts. I literally have a troll account that I have on here that I only troll from. Like, okay. Kind of curious from my last post to see the inverse of the best beginner martial art. What's the worst beginner martial art? When answering, I'd ask you to take all these into account: cost of equipment, ease of accessibility, difficulty, athleticism, blah, blah, blah. Let's see what he says. For me, I'd have to say reluctantly, because he's a lover of it, Taekwondo. Can you click that read more?
I did.
Oh, shit. I didn't update.
I'd have to reluctantly say Taekwondo.
Oh, there we go. I'm a former blah, blah, blah Taekwondo athlete. Those are 2 words you should never put together. And have fought both nationally and internationally. The reason I say that is most successful Taekwondo, blah, blah. Okay. Scroll down. He's just talking shit. What he's doing right there, what that guy just did, he made the whole post to say that paragraph. Go back up to that paragraph.
I want to give you my bona fides, but I'm trying not to get my dick sucked, so I got to preface with all this dumb shit.
What he really wanted to say is he's a former AAU WT Taekwondo athlete, and he's fought nationally and internationally. That's the whole reason for this post. He wants everyone to know that he did this. He's awesome.
But it's not a big deal because it's the worst martial art.
Yeah, it's not that big of a deal.
For a
Don't say
beginner.
anything about
I'd say
it, guys.
Taekwondo, but reluctantly, and just because I've won like
Yeah.
a bunch of shit with it.
I'm gonna take my dick out. You don't have to.
That's
suck
not
it.
that's not what you should start with. You know, I've done all this stuff, but
I would say the martial art where the instructor's trying to like put his finger in your rear end like during class is probably the worst one. That's probably the one you don't want to do. The one
I
where...
have to respectfully disagree.
Well, I'm curious, what are some of the other
this dude says, so he's asking, let's be clear, he's asking what would be the worst one to start. This guy said HEMA, which is the historical what that Middle East, not Middle Eastern.
Oh, Middle Ages martial art.
Martial
Well,
art,
this is where the dorks like use the old weapons and shit.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
I got an idea, Elijah. I want to learn how to fight, but let's go back 500 years and let's learn a martial art from that time period and fight. These guys are fucking
that shit's so stupid.
full on.
So I'm interested by this first one, the guy that said HEMA. He said getting a full set of gear. So as far as the restrictions go, how much money, protective equipment, training swords, etc.
Training swords. I'm saving up for my training
Well,
swords.
he says can set you back many hundreds or low thousands of dollars. So I'm thinking about
if you get the good stuff, if you get the stuff with a real high carbon fiber count.
I wonder how many people out there are actually doing that type of stuff and like where the communities are. Are they on the Reddit? Are they on Reddit right here?
Well,
I'm sure they would be.
Nate Orchard's one of them. I bet he has a full suit of armor.
He probably does, honestly.
He probably does, right? I bet he knows how to use these medieval weapons.
Listen, bros, if I was completely transparent, if I had access to the money, I would probably get in a suit of armor and hit somebody in the head with an axe.
A mace or something.
I mean, what do you do if like you've got a bunch of fucking money and you're already a black belt in jiu-jitsu and you're just like, I don't know, you just want to go do something. You're just like, I'm bored. And
So
you're
what do you
old
do
and
with
you can't do
that
jiu-jitsu
BJJ?
anymore. You've mastered that and you can't roll with anybody anymore.
That's what I'm saying.
You
Dude,
go do fucking
HEMA.
fencing or some shit. I don't know.
you take that 20K. Listen, take that PGF money. I could put you in a great set of training swords. I could get you head-to-toe protective equipment. We could get you started, dude. We could put you on the right path. I know a guy. What's the next thread? What we
Well, hang
got?
on, real quick. I just read this. I'd like to point out that his fifth, not first or second, but his fifth reason as to why it's the most useless one to learn is it's largely useless in most plausible self-defense scenarios. Sword fights don't happen anymore.
True.
I would say they rarely happen. I've seen some dudes from Florida on Instagram with swords.
There you go. What's our next one?
Let's see. I'm do the next one from you. I have a jiu-jitsu match with someone experienced coming up. I know nothing.
Oh,
is the
Jesus.
title. Apparently, he's looking for some tips.
So I have no prior experience in this sport. I was talking all proud with this guy, saying I could escape his grip and give him a hard time if he tried to take me down. He wanted me to prove it. I'm definitely going to get whooped. Not only does he have good technique, but he's almost double my weight. Any tips to give him a hard time while he does that? How can I fend him off? Don't let me die and help a girl out. Is this a girl? This
is a girl. Yeah.
Is this a real thread, though?
I say help a girl out in reference to myself.
Oh, like he's
lot.
referring to himself. He's self-deprecating.
Help a girl out.
I see.
I don't know.
I think the most important thing.
Why do people post this shit?
I'm telling, dude.
It's a good question.
This is a real question, and this is not a jiu-jitsu guy. And the way you know it's not a jiu-jitsu guy, because when a jiu-jitsu guy asks for advice on Reddit, the first thing he does is he tells you how long he's been training.
This is true.
He tells you his weight. He tells you like his relative, like kind of like what style he has. If he's a guard puller, a takedown guy, does he like barabolos? And they're very like, they try to downplay it, but they always kind of give themselves a backwards compliment.
Yeah,
and then they give a scenario about who they're going to fight. And the person they're going to fight is always taller, double their weight. It's always David versus Goliath, and they're David. You know, this guy doesn't even mention his weight. That's how I know he's not a jiu-jitsu guy.
He said, what did I do? Somebody said the top comment's funny, but the second one is keep trash talking, but forever postpone the match with excuses. Like my mom died, or my mom came back to life and we have a family celebration, or she died again.
Came back to life and we have a family celebration.
That's funny.
My mom totally came back. All right, let's get that last one in, man. Pull up one of yours, dude.
Alrighty. I'd be interested in you guys answering this one. Let's see if the dude deleted it or not. It was up earlier.
Oh, was it that controversial?
A question about losing control.
Oh, every class. Every class.
I wanted to post a question about how you remain calm when someone is gloating you and you want to rip their head off. I train in Kung Fu, weapons, and Tai Chi, but it's that one time where I lose it, where I'm disappointed in myself. I should know better.
Oh, and this is on the Kung Fu message board, Reddit board, by the way.
Which I found recently, and is a ton of fun.
Oh, it's
dude, beautiful. I bet that's a ton of fun. Jesus Christ.
For top comment, I recall a quote from Chuck Norris: "Men are like steel. When they lose their temper, they lose their worth."
Nobody gives a real Chuck Norris quote. It's got to be like a Chuck Norris quote about how like his dick is bigger than anyone's in the world.
Do you think that's a real Chuck Norris quote? What he just said?
I can fucking check that for you.
Men are like steel. When they lose their temper, they lose their worth.
That's a Nuck Choris quote. If someone's trying to make me angry, I see no reason to give them what they want. You do not let the enemy choose the location of the fight. That's a good one.
By the way, that is an actual Chuck Norris quote.
Hey, check this out. Might be a good idea to talk with a mental health professional if it's an issue. Some people are always going to be bastards, and there's no way around that.
That's some genuinely good advice.
That's mental kung fu.
Yeah, that's genuinely good advice for that dude.
I picked this. I sometimes will pick these throughout the week if I come across them while I'm doing my job. And I picked this one so that Tim and the guest, it turns out you could possibly answer this one. I wanted to introduce you to Kung Fu and how ridiculous it is on Reddit, but I also wanted to ask, is there ever been a time where you guys have lost your shit with somebody while you were training?
Oh, like lost control.
I'm gonna kill this dude.
Like I see red every night, dude.
I know your mentality.
You know what I mean?
And I know what you mean.
I'm different.
I don't think so. I don't think I've ever done that.
No.
I think I strategically get back at anything that pisses me off. You know what I mean?
Have you ever?
I'm just like, oh, you're being a little bitch. Like, okay, cool. Well, I'm gonna fuck you up. I'm gonna make you understand that I'm not trying very hard and I'm making your life miserable.
Have you ever felt bad for punking somebody too hard?
Never.
Nah.
Never.
Negative.
Never.
That's
I like to make people look stupid.
you know.
That's the best thing to do is just like you can cause them physical pain and agony. And I like to mix a little bit of that in there too, you know?
Yeah.
But I'd rather just make people look dumb.
Man,
And there's very subtle ways to do that in jiu-jitsu, you know?
are you planning on doing that at PGF season 6? Is that your goal? You want to dunk?
Man, you're never going to see my real game in PGF. It's not enough time.
So what are we going to see there?
You just don't have enough time in 6 minutes to see what I know I can do in a 15 or 20-minute jiu-jitsu match against people. And that's get to the mountain, absolutely just make people miserable.
Yeah.
If you see me roll in the gym, you'd be like, damn, that's a completely different person. But we're doing these 6-minute matches and I got to put points on the board. It's like, we got to I don't have time to break you down and mount. I don't have time to wear you out.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
But that's my game. You'd be super surprised to watch my game. It's sweepies and my pinch headlock, shoulder crunch, double underhook game, writing them out. He's a Garuma. And then just melting people from there.
You're a pressure cooker.
Yeah, absolutely.
Nice. I get it. It's fun.
Yeah, it sucks. It's terrible.
You're goddamn right it does.
It's terrible.
So it's like I got to go play the game. You know, I got to go put points on the board.
Yeah, sure.
It's like you got to know when to pull the trigger and like when not to. You know, and a lot of these people are going to stop or are going to like not be putting points on the board and not know when to like pull that trigger of like accepting the break instead of going for the choke. You know, it's like they're going to wait too long. And or they're just going to try in general. It's like some people sometimes, you know, like I walk in there and it's like I know I'm not going to choke this person in 6 minutes, so I didn't even waste my time on it. I didn't waste any time. I didn't waste any energy. I went in there and subbed the dude and got my break in like less than a minute or something. And someone else has a match with that same dude and they spent the whole 6 minutes trying to fucking choke him and got 0 points, and now they're even more fatigued. You know, like there's a lot of strategy that goes in this game. It's like, is this person, even if I might be able to get the choke on this person and get the 6 points, is it going to be worth it? Like the energy I have to put into it.
How much does it cost?
How much is that going to cost me throughout the week? I've got a bunch of matches. It's like knowing and really picking and choosing when to pull the trigger is a risky game. You know, so you might not be right. You might fuck it up. There's a lot of shit there's a lot of aspects that go into this game, and I definitely am bringing the most experience into it. And a lot of people aren't going to be looking at this the same way we are.
Most definitely, man. I think that really makes you, and you said it yourself, you might not be the best at all those names coming in, but you definitely are the prime dude to win PGF season 6. Personally,
I think I am the best, but on paper, I'm definitely not. You know, I don't have
To be fair, you did make the distinction. He said on paper. You did say that. You did say that. For
sure. And I'll prove that this season because I'm gonna show a lot of people this season because I'm gonna outperform all these guys. I'm gonna sub a lot of these guys. They're gonna be like, oh, just because Elijah hasn't done IBJJF and done an ADCC trial or anything like that, and he hasn't won anything big like that, like he's out here subbing these folks.
I'm looking to PGF becoming so big that you don't even necessarily need either of those accolades to be sort of a force to be reckoned with.
Dude, I hope so. I've made my name without any of those accolades, and I've done pretty well doing it. Being just like, I don't know, I've done pretty damn well without any of that shit.
For sure.
Just making my name, and it's really pushing towards that direction where you're not going to have to. I've had people tell me my entire career, like you need to go do IBJJF and like get these accolades, and like they were trying to get me to do worlds at blue and purple, and I'm just like, I'm just not doing this and supporting any of this bullshit. I don't like it. And I haven't done it, and I've still done pretty well for myself. Yeah. And that's going to open up for everybody. Everybody's going to be able to, like you said, like I'm not going to need those accolades.
Yeah, that's dope, man. Hey, thanks for joining us tonight, man. Can you give us one parting shot before you jump off? Any words to the other dudes fighting at PGF 6, to the fans? Like, give us the last take from the Jabroni grappler.
They're gonna sleep on me like always, but you know, we're gonna show up. We're gonna do what we do every time, and yeah. Shout out to My main sponsors: Epic Roll, Daily Triangle, Get Umbo. Got a bunch of new sponsors. About to put on the new kit. But shout out to the team too, to Planet Atlanta. Yeah. Thank you guys for having me. Had a blast.
Thanks, brother, man. It's great to see you, and I will see you out in Vegas at the end of April, brother.
You gonna be there?
Yes, sir.
Hell yeah.
Working
Gonna
the
be
show.
awesome.
Let's go.
Let's go, dude.
All right, man. Have a good one, man.
All right, see ya.
Thanks, bro. Nice. Elijah Carlton, ladies and gentlemen.
Awesome.
A pretty good dude right there.
Pretty good dude.
Just kicked him out of the studio. It's always weird when you end the interview because you take them out of the stage and they're on the side and they can kind of see what's going on. And then we just like fucking kick them out of the it's like, get
why?
And then some dudes try to come back in and I'm just like, get out of here.
Yeah, I saw AJ come back in.
I did.
Right before we were about to finish up.
I think we just left him. We're like,
I think so.
Whatevs. What are you going to do?
What are you going to do?
I'm stoked, man. I'm definitely looking forward to this. I think it's going to be pretty amazing.
I do too. I hope so as well.
Yeah, me too. I do. It's been a good week out here in Nashville, man. Stoked to have the podcast up and rolling again. Got a lot of names out there I'm trying to get on. Working real close with Brandon right now. As close as I can, to help as much as we can to get this thing going.
With Brandon having so much on his plate, if any of you guys that are being announced in the process of being announced or know when you're going to be announced, just reach out to Tim and we'll try to work something out. Because Brandon's got a lot going on right now too. So we'd love to talk to the competitors.
Big MF, I talked to him.
How's he doing?
His fight's coming up at the end of February.
Which he's told me about 7 of them.
Boxing match.
Really?
3-round boxing match. He's been training for. He hasn't been coming on because he's training every night of the week now.
Fuck yeah, dude.
He's boxing. So yeah, he's gonna get after it, man.
Get after it, Big MF.
Yeah, he's going. It's fighting a dude in his 20s. The guy's second fight. He's 0-1.
Okay.
So, but Matt's like 47, dude.
Matt's he's the Big MF.
Excuse me, I stand corrected. Big MF is 37.
Big
Matt is 47. Big MF is 37.
Big MF's 47 on the weekends.
Big MF actually ages slower than Matt does.
Right. Yeah. I would believe that in an instant.
So yeah, man. No, I'm stoked. I'm seriously bent that I fell asleep during the UFC. I'm gonna have to go back and watch that.
You missed out on. I mean, that right hook from Tapuria came out of nowhere, and Nehemiah and I were watching it at Corner Pub. I got off work late, but he and I.
Did you guys go to downtown?
Yeah, we went to the downtown Corner Pub.
Broadway?
Yeah, no, 5th. Corner Pub on 5th.
It's off Broadway.
Yeah,
yeah. So I don't know why I say Broadway.
I had to work late, and then we ended up linking up at Corner Pub. We saw most of the main card.
Yeah.
But the Paulo Costa and then Whitaker fight was great. I kind of gave it to Whitaker. I mean, not Whitaker, Costa, but I barely know what I'm talking about. I like them both, so I didn't mind. But that right hook from Tapuria came out of nowhere, and Nehemiah and I were both talking about how bad we felt for Folk because you get that Islam fight off 10 days notice in a weight class that's not the one you're used to, get a nasty knockout, and then come back for a really nice fight in your belt class that you've defended the title on, and then you get slept. I mean, while Rogan was talking to Tapuria, Folk was still on the ground.
Yeah.
I felt so bad for him.
I don't think Volk should have taken the last fight that he took.
I don't think so either. He's a dog.
I know he is, man. And he said he was drinking leading up to that fight.
Wait 10 days notice. He had no idea what was going on.
Well, that's true.
He wasn't in a camp.
I know, but man, dude, like, I'm not champion of the world.
For sure.
So I can't talk shit.
Me either. I wouldn't about Folk anyway. He's a good dude.
But listen, like, it's a very short career window, so it's hard. But mad respect for him. I love watching him fight.
Me too. I hope he continues to fight.
I bet against him.
If that's what he wants.
I definitely bet against him.
Oh,
yeah. When I fired up my DraftKings to try to, like, juice up my night, I was trying to fluff myself to stay awake.
It's an interesting sentence.
It really is. I want to see what the AI thing does with that. I lost my first. I picked a parlay, so I didn't hit the parlay, but I was very close. I was 4-1 or 3-1. Sorry, with my picks. So I picked Cejudo.
Okay.
I thought Cejudo was going to get on the good drugs and come back, and we'd see a different Cejudo. I think we saw a great Cejudo. He just got overwhelmed. But that was a good fight. The rest of the fights I picked right. was it fucking Ian
Machado
Gary?
Gary.
Ian
Yeah,
Gary.
Ian Gary.
Picked him, right?
Yep.
I felt pretty confident that he was going to win.
Decision, if I remember correctly. Yep.
Picked Whitaker.
Whitaker on decision.
Thought Whitaker was going to win, and I picked
Tapuria.
Yeah.
You got those.
Yeah. So I ended up losing because I lost the parlay. I lost 40 cents on the night because I won the other 3 bets and it evened out the parlay. I know, kind of lame.
I have never gambled before.
You know, I did a little bit, and I did okay back with Bovada.
Mhm.
I used Bovada, which I think was offshore, maybe or not. Government
Sounds like
spy
it would've been.
machine. I don't know. Whatever. Fuck you, government spy monkeys.
Could have ended that at
Yeah.
government.
I love you, government.
Fuck you,
I
government.
love you, Joe Biden.
Fucking I don't.
I did that. Bovada, I did that. $5.99 gas, I did that. So yeah, made the US suck. I did that. No, sorry, I digress. Bovada, I used Bovada. I made decent money on Brock Lesnar fights.
Okay.
I picked those very well for whatever reason. And I'm not even a Brock Lesnar fan per se, but I had a pretty good read on when I thought he was going to win and when I thought he was going to lose.
One of my favorite quotes about anybody was what Joe Rogan said about Brock Lesnar.
Which was what?
He said something along the lines of, I'm not worried that Brock Lesnar would fuck me. I'm worried that he would use me as a condom to fuck someone else. It's like, that sounds like,
yikes.
That's a giant man.
Yikes. No, thank you.
No thanks.
Yeah. DraftKings is fun, man. The tricky part for me was when I downloaded DraftKings Fantasy Sports, and that's actually a different app than the sports book.
I don't know anything about that.
Right.
Yeah.
And then you have to fund your account, and they have to verify your identity, and they're lame, and it took them like a week to do it because they're dumb. But once it was all set up, it's pretty convenient. I could see where, I mean, there are so many props that you could bet on a match. It's unbelievable the things you could bet on, unbelievable that I could see where people completely blow all their money, just hooked into gaming. They're gaming is what they're doing. That's what they call it anyway. Like in Nevada, it's called gaming, that's what they're doing. But it's a sports betting, but they're betting on so many props and so many different elements of the game and so many different elements of what you're watching across multiple sports that they're keeping people engaged and hooked on that thing. It's just like fucking the apps are designed like,
just like
give you that dopamine boost,
just like all the machines in Vegas. I mean, it's in their interest to keep you hooked on it, right? I mean,
yeah,
they're making money.
So same shit. But I lost 40 cents. Like that's a real high roller move right there. But whatever, it all worked out. So anyway, man, check out the sponsors. They're scrolling at the bottom of the banner. If you're listening on Spotify, go to bjjeveryday.com, instagram.com/cultist.apparel. You can donate to the Guardian Nashville Jiu-Jitsu Scholarship Program by going to 10pnashville.com/Guardian, where we help teens train for free and benefit from all the cool shit that we get in jiu-jitsu. Dude, thanks for hitting me up on a midweek podcast, man.
Absolutely.
Good times, good people.
Thank you to Elijah again for coming on.
Yeah, I had a nice time. I was really hoping he would really just be like, I'm gonna kill this person, but
fuck that dude.
Yeah, that's what I wanted.
Fuck that dude.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I wanted, but that's not exactly what I got. All right, man. I think we're good. We out.
All right. See y'all.
Go.